Get grilling this Cup Match with certified Angus beef bone and ribeye steaks. Only $16.99 per pound. Whole seedless red ripe watermelons, just $12.99 each. Hellman's mayonnaise, only $5.49 for a 30-ounce jar. Hunt's barbecue sauce, just $2.09 for an 18-ounce bottle. Sargento shredded cheese, only $3.89 for a 7-ounce package. Shelley Bay, Heron Bay, Modern Mart, and Price Right Warwick stores will be open both days of Cup Match from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m.
You're watching Bermuda Tonight. It's Thursday, July 25th, 2019. I'm Diane Brewer, and thank you for joining us. The amendments to the Bermuda Immigration and Protection Act in 1956, as it pertains to mixed-status families, will not be tabled in the House of Assembly tomorrow after all. It was promised by Wayne Keynes, the Minister of Immigration, that bill would be tabled before the summer recess. However, Mr. Keynes told Gary Moreno this does not mean another lengthy delay, as he and the government intend to make good on their promise of immigration reform.
I received one of the final drafts, if not the final draft, this morning, and it just needs more work. I've had the opportunity in the past when it came from the policy people, from the drafters, it went to cabinet, it came back to us for some revisions, it went back to the drafters, and we've been going backwards and forward. One thing that I've realized is that this legislation has significant ramifications and long-term ramifications for people of Bermuda, for the social tapestry of this country, and I have to get it right, i.e. we have to get it right. So rather than force it through without it being fit for purpose, I want to take the opportunity and look at it one or two more times, have the opportunity to dot one more I or cross one more T, and that's where we're at.
So, Minister, does this mean that the legislation will be delayed for another protracted period?
It will not be shelved for a protracted period. As you know, Parliament is oftentimes prorogued, or it breaks for the summer, and it goes back in the week of November 11th for the new session of Parliament. The Premier will call Parliament back in early, and so it will not be prorogued for the entire summer. We will go on break and reconvene in the early part of September. And in the early part of September, we believe that we can table the legislation and have it go forward.
But this has been in the making for some time. One would have thought that all the kinks would have been ironed out by now.
When you look at this thing theoretically, one would say, you know what, we believe we have it. A drafter will highlight a concern. A policy person will highlight a concern when the legislation is drafted. We just don't say, you know what, we have to push this out to the public. We take our time, we look at this is a good amendment, this is in keeping with the ethos of what we want to do. Or if we make this decision, look at the ramifications that happens with just doing this. Oh, that was not the intended consequence. And so once you look at the legislation, once you see the drafted document, you're able to see, you know what, there need to be some changes here. The assurances to the people of Bermuda is that immigration reform remains a work in progress.
So how many families or individuals turned up for the registration exercise at the Cedar Bridge Academy, Minister?
About 225 people turned up over the entire 2 weeks. About 225 people showed up. Based on the people that showed up on the day, we believe that we are in about 600 or 700, around that ballpark of people that will qualify for mixed status families.
And finally, what is it specifically that led to the bill not being able to be tabled tomorrow?
I don't want to go into specifics of the legislation, simply to say the government has a clear agenda and we have a direction that we want to go into. And there are certain things that happen. This is not just the Immigration Act. There are a number of acts that are affected by the change to mixed status family. So we're not just looking at one act. There are a series of acts that have a knock-on effect by changing these things. And so you're changing all of these acts. You're looking at the implications for the country. You're looking at a lot of implications. And as they are highlighted, then that might not have been thought through by everyone. And so now we have the opportunity to see what the implications are, to understand it, and I feel that it's important for us to make wise decisions and adjust it, and be able to bring back the legislation when it's right and fit for purpose.
In September.
In September.
That was Gary Moreno reporting. In other news, the Public Works Minister David Birch has released a redacted version of a key report looking into the finances of the Troubled Sands 360 facility. The West End facility, which had a sports and aquatic center, closed in 2009 after it was unable to pay its bills. The government has made a bid to purchase the property after it pumped more than $5 million into it over the years.
Minister David Birch had initially denied a request under the Public Access to Information Law for the KPMG report to be released. However, he changed his mind after receiving legal advice. In releasing parts of the report today, the minister highlighting the history behind the facility.
Before I head down that road, though, I think it is important to remind you of the distinguished history of Sands Secondary School. Let me first declare my double interest. Firstly, I'm a graduate of that institution. Before it was a middle school, and secondly, one of the founders of the school in 1927 to provide secondary education for black children in the West was my great aunt, the legendary Nurse Ella Scott.
Colonel Birch suggested he did not believe the public would get too excited over the redacted report.
It is a 101-page report, that those who wish to print it may do so. The redactions have been carried out in accordance with the directive of the Information Commissioner and all refer to personal information exclusions per Section 23(1) of the Paddy Act.
Minister Birch laid blame to the former OBA government, which commissioned the report, for failing to address it.
Clearly, this is something that two OBA ministers, at least, could have resolved rather than the ridiculous circus they have engaged in of accusing the present government of hiding something, particularly in light of their recent utterances to release the report. I am pleased to release the report following the revised legal advice from the Attorney General's chambers, who conducted the review.
The minister keen on pointing out that despite the saga over the closed West End Center, the public continues to express an interest in using it sometime in the future.
I think that certainly the thousands of people that use Sands 360 will be disappointed that we have not been able to get to a point where the facility can be reopened. Certainly I've had a number of requests and appeals from people who utilized the facility previously, that if and when the government actually buys it, would be interested in reopening it under a different set of circumstances and then being able to take advantage of using it.
The government maintains it has no legal authority over the property until it is able to purchase it.
What has happened since the passage of the permission to purchase it in the House of Assembly is that the negotiations with HSBC have stalled as a result of a third party laying a claim to some indebtedness from the trustees of Sands 360. And until that is resolved, we cannot proceed.
Coming up, we talk fintech, the latest weather news, and much more. Stay with us.
I was the poster child of health. I exercised, I ate fruits and vegetables, and went to bed early. I was convinced that I was throwing away my money paying health insurance every month. Then I had a bike accident and things changed. Thankfully, everything was covered by my insurance. I was one of the lucky ones. Some of my boys don't even have insurance.
Imagine a Bermuda where every person has access to the care they need when they need it most. A message from the Ministry of Health.
You can count on us.
Fresh Express Coleslaw, just $1.99 for a 14-ounce package. For your cut-match grilling, Purdue Fresh Value Pack chicken thighs or drumsticks, only $1.99 per pound. Wishbone salad dressing, just $3.49 for a 15-ounce bottle. Kingsford Match Light Charcoal, only $7.99 for a 3.1-pound bag. Blue Ribbon, white hot dog or hamburger rolls, just $3.59 for a 12-ounce package. Have a safe and happy cut-match holiday from the marketplace.
You can count on us.
Unity Fest is slated to be the biggest concert of the summer with headliner Bougie Bonton, and it got a whole lot better with the local lineup being announced. So on August 17 at National Sports Center, you're going to see Bougie Bonton, Rainy Wonder, Agent Sasko, aka Assassin, and Massacre are expected to be on stage along with local artists Jesse Seymour, Kadanger, Live Wires, all backed by the Wall Street Band. And there's a whole DJ lineup for the night, including the mighty Stone Love out of Jamaica. There's also local DJs, DJ Chubb, DJ iBreeze, Juggling Jason, Black Star, Blacker Knights, Tony Cross, Ryan Saeed. And Unity Fest is hosted by Java and Young Chow of New York's Hot 97. There are limited tickets left, so make sure you buy them at www.unityfestivalbda.com. But if you want to buy them locally, you can get them at People's Pharmacy, Choices, and Summer Supermart in St. George's.
Welcome back. Well, it was one of the highlights of their 2017 Progressive Labor Party's election manifesto, but it can be argued that so far fintech has failed to deliver the goods, at least insofar as job creation is concerned. However, speaking with Gary Moreno on the second anniversary of the PLP's latest term in office, a defiant premier, David Burt, maintained fintech is already proving to be a success.
It could be argued that in terms of job creation, the fintech experience for this country has so far been less than successful. The situations with Binance and Arbitrage serve as strong reminders. However, earlier this week, a digital asset business license was granted to fintech firm Circle. Circle has promised to create upwards of 30 jobs in this country over the next 2 years. But that's 2 years down the road. And in the previous 2 years, the number of jobs created through fintech has been limited. That, however, does not mean it's so far been a failure, argues Mr. Burt.
Gary, I'm very surprised that you would say no jobs yet when on your newscast a few days ago they
30
reported
jobs will be forthcoming.
On your newscast the other day, they reported the accurate figure that there have been 19 jobs that have been created in fintech already.
19, Premier?
19. 19 is greater than 0, Gary. And when you're building an industry from scratch, you start from a point of 0.
Pressed that 19 jobs in 2 years could be seen as less than satisfactory.
Here's what I will say, Gary. The fact is that this is a new industry. Regulators are beginning to learn how to grapple with it. We just issued our first full license on Monday. And just so we can understand, the entire process of passing legislation to getting people through the regulatory process, etc., takes time.
But
listen, I am not disappointed with the pace of progress because I want to build something that is long-term and sustainable in this country.
Premier Burt sought to make the case that the insurance industry, when it first started, was not an overnight success, creating any multitude of jobs.
I do not think that the same criticisms were being leveled at the insurance industry 1 year after the initial insurance acts were passed, and there may not have been thousands of jobs in the economy at that point in time. What we are seeing is interest. What we are seeing is licenses being issued. I'll be able to announce another license that's going to be issued today, and there is continued interest in developing those things.
All well and good, Premier, but I think it's unfair to make that kind of comparison with the insurance industry. The insurance industry.
Do you know how many jobs were in the insurance industry
Premier,
in 1986, a year after they started?
How many, Premier?
I'm saying, do you know?
Well, I wasn't here that time, so I wouldn't know, but I'm saying.
And I was a young man, but here's the thing. If you are building an industry properly, you have to make sure you take the time to do it right. I am in no way, shape, or form disappointed with the pace of progress.
Fintech notwithstanding, Premier Burt pointed to an increase in employment generally and particularly in areas where Bermudians may not have benefited in the past. But what of the argument that these jobs are going to specially skilled and not enough is being done to address unemployment for what is often referred to as the average Bermudian?
We are an economy in transition. I reject the fact and push back strongly that Bermudians in this country are not educated.
I never stated that.
I reject and push back
my comment
on the fact that we do not have Bermudians that are taking advantage of retooling their skills so they can have jobs inside the economy. And when you say average, hold a second, Gary. And when you say average Bermudians, when I have Bermudians that come into my office who are looking for work, who are looking for opportunities, and opportunities are being created of which they are training for and are able to pursue, I think and I know that we are making progress in that area. So I push back on that very strongly.
Gary Moreno, reporting for the Bermuda Broadcasting News.
Turning to weather news, feeling hot, hot, hot. Let's go to AccuWeather headquarters for the latest weather details.
AccuWeather is presented by BF&M Insurance Group. We now go to AccuWeather headquarters.
The BF&M Insurance Group is pleased to bring you tonight's AccuWeather forecast. I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Brittany Boyer, and hopefully you've had a great day today. You can see that we've got quite a bit of action just off to our west, and we're kind of on the outer periphery of this slow-moving boundary, and then just off to our east, we have high pressure. Now, despite the fact that we have the risk of a shower or thunderstorm, for the most part, our weather is looking pretty nice, mainly dry conditions with just the possibility of a pop-up shower or storm. And as we look at things closely right now, you can see the bulk of the moisture well off to our west, but we do have a thunderstorm advisory, so a heads up if you plan on doing anything outdoors this evening. Just keep your eye to the sky and always know when thunder roars, you want to get indoors, and if you can hear thunder, lightning is close enough that it can strike you, and we don't want to see anybody get into a bad situation here, especially with the weekend in view right now. All right, as we look at some of the current conditions here, temperatures holding steady in the upper 80s, humidity just about where it's been sitting the last couple of days, about 70 to 75%. Winds are coming in out of the southwest, 10 to 15 knots, so a little bit of a breeze out there for you this evening. The water temperature has warmed up to 87 degrees, and we're actually looking at some of the sea surface temperature anomalies, and actually the water temperature right now is about 2 to 3 degrees Fahrenheit above normal for this time of year. So the water is like bath water, as I've been saying the last couple of weeks. No issues out on the water. Waves inside of the reef 1 to 2 feet, and outside of the reef 3 to 5 feet. As I mentioned a little bit earlier, for this evening we do have a thunderstorm advisory that has been issued by the Bermuda Weather Service, so make sure you are staying safe this evening. Here's a look at your tidal times. We have our low tide coming in before 10 o'clock tonight, and then our high tide coming in tomorrow morning just before 4 a.m. So, as I've mentioned, we will have the chance of a shower or two. Otherwise tonight, look at the low temperature, 80 degrees. So it's a warm and muggy night with a shower or storm possible, and that also applies as we head into your Friday here. Mostly cloudy and humid with a shower. It's not going to be an all-day rain event. You'll still be able to enjoy the day, but just know that there could be a shower or two. There's that boundary that has been lingering just to our west. As we get into the next couple of days, we'll start to see the winds relaxing, and we'll also see more opportunities for some sunshine. Looking at the Caribbean right now, you can see we do have some showers around Barbados and also Trinidad, where temperatures here are holding steady in the upper 80s and also low 90s. Lots of sun for some of the I-95 big cities along the East Coast, New York City and Boston for tomorrow. Atlanta, things are looking good, but we do have some storms in London and also into Miami. Your extended forecast here, aside from the shower or storm we might have tonight and also into tomorrow, a few spotty showers possible on Saturday. Otherwise, looks sunny and nice as we get ready to head into early next week.
AccuWeather was presented by BF&M Insurance Group.
Michaela, and this is Taking Off. The new road at the airport is almost done. You'll recall I gave you a look at the road right before work started back in December. The old bus stop off the Causeway roundabout was removed earlier this year to make way for the new road and new entrance to our new passenger terminal building. It will give access to both departing and arriving passengers and to our newly constructed parking lots in front of the terminal. The roadworks began in January with excavation, backfill, and underground utilities. In March, the curb and sidewalks were installed, and in June, the asphalting work was completed. The curb is 314 linear meters long. 80 cubic meters of concrete was used to pave the sidewalk, and in order to pave the road, 2,150 metric tons of asphalt and 7,500 metric tons of gravel were used. In less than a year, the new terminal will be completed. I'll be back soon to give you an update on the construction. See you next time.
And you are watching the Thursday edition of Bermuda Tonight. Well, the regulatory authority today announced the launch of Bermuda's first integrated resource plan, which outlines a framework for Bermuda's energy requirements over the next 25 years. It will use levels of renewable energy resources to deliver cost-effective, sustainable, and reliable sources of power for the island. The plan was developed following a 20-month-long process, which included requesting Belco to submit a proposal to meet the IRP criteria. The analysis of its submission, the receipt and the review of 8 alternative proposals, and feedback regarding those proposals from over 800 people. During the public consultation, 2 distinct options emerged: liquefied natural gas as a fuel source with additional renewable energy, and no liquefied natural gas with very high renewable energy penetration. The RA selected the high renewable option, which will yield the lowest long-term cost for a non-natural gas solution while while exceeding Bermuda's renewable energy policy objective. Chairman of the RA, Angela Berry, commented business as usual is not sustainable, and investing in a natural gas solution would continue our dependency on fossil fuels for up to 50 years and provide fewer diverse investment opportunities. The RA is confident that the energy plan will help to stabilize the cost of electricity, provide jobs to construct and support the new renewables infrastructure, increase investment opportunities for local and international investors, reduce our dependency on fossil fuels, and place Bermuda significantly ahead of its renewables target. The RA will move as quickly as possible to implement the IRP within the next 6 years of the plan. The island is slated to add 21 megawatts of utility-scale solar photovoltaic, up to 30 megawatts of distributed generation, such as residential and small-scale solar, 60 megawatts of wind power from an offshore wind farm, while specific engines at the Belco plant that are dependent on fossil fuels will be decommissioned. Generation as another source of renewable energy is scheduled for deployment by the year 2028. Earl Baisden will have all the latest sports news in just a few minutes. We'll be right back.
Rising Inferno, in association with Driven Society, presents Island Soul Fest Night 3. Night 3. It's Sunday, July 28th at the Fairmont, Southampton, featuring the iconic Stephanie Mills and her band, live in Bermuda. Also, Donnell Jones. Early warm by Juggling Jason and local act, the Wall Street Band, hosted by Nadunja. Tickets are $150 more at the door. Get your tickets from Choices, 27th Century Boutique, Menco, Bananas Party Boutique, and ptix.bm. Doors open at 6:30 p.m. Showtime 7 p.m. It's Island Soul Fest Night 3. Stephanie Mills, Donnell Jones, together for a night of soul. It's Sunday, July 28th at the Fairmont, Southampton.
David Maycock is no stranger to international competition or to winning medals. He has bowled across the world from Dubai to Malaysia, Costa Rica to Hong Kong, and flown that Bermuda flag with distinction. He placed 4th in the 2016 Commonwealth Games, missing a medal by just 1 pin. At the World Cup a year earlier, he placed an impressive 14th out of 86 participants in Las Vegas. On local soil, David has won the Bermuda Open, the Bermuda Rendezvous, and American Airlines tournaments, and he manages to retain as much enthusiasm for the sport today as when he first picked up a bowling ball at the age of 5. Next stop, Peru and the Pan Am Games.
Turning to sports now, following the withdrawal of BAA from the Bermuda Football Association's Premier Division, the Bermuda Football Association Competitions Committee can now officially confirm the Somerset Trojans' reinstatement to the Premier Division for the 2019-2020 football season. The association officially confirms that the Bermuda Athletic Association has withdrawn its senior team from the Premier Division for the upcoming 2019-2020 season, and the Somerset Trojans, the 9th place Premier Division team in the recently concluded 2018-2019 season, has accepted the invitation to have its Premier Division status restored. Earl Baisden will have more on this story in future sportscasts. And now here he is with the rest of tonight's sports report.
The Pan American Games in Lima, Peru officially got underway for Bermuda as the traditional flag-raising ceremony took place in the Athletes' Village. Under cloudy skies and a slight drizzle, the Bermuda flag was raised in the ceremony alongside Canada, Dominican Republic, and Puerto Rico. Bermuda athletes from triathlon, bowling, and squash marched into the village square, and they stood proudly alongside Bermuda Olympic Association President Judy Simons and Chef de Mission Brenman Smith King as the flag was raised to the national anthem. The 18th FINA World Championships 2019 continued in Korea. Elan Daly was back in the pool where she would compete in the women's 100-meter freestyle. Daly finished 5th in Heat 6 with a time of 57 seconds flat. Her time was just 1/100th of a second off the national record currently held by Kira Aiken, who clocked 56.99. Coach Ben Smith said Daly is performing exceptionally well.
Keelan had another impressive swim in the 100 freestyle with her 57.00. It was an unbelievable swim with 56.99, the target, which was Kara Aiken's national record. She missed it by 1/100th of a second. But this is an amazing debut for a 14-year-old swimmer at World Championships to swim 2 personal best times, to break records. She's really excited about this experience and looking forward to doing many more in the years to come. Amazing swim, but always more things that you can improve, and she's already looking forward to the things that she's going to adjust between now and her next competition.
The Bermuda Caribbean Equestrian Association's children's dressage team have, for the 3rd year in a row, captured first place in the Children's Dressage Challenge, while Bermuda's adult team placed second to Barbados. Members of the 2019 Bermuda Children team are Kayla Barjett, riding Causing Chaos; Maya Di Salavera, who was riding Just Pete; Tyler James was riding Happy Feet. The Bermuda adult team members are Angela Holleran-Smith, riding Phenomenal AV; Virginia McKee, riding Matinee; and Ebby Barjett, who was riding Cruise Control. Daniel Phillips took to the courts for the Bilbao Junior Tennis Tournament, which is part of the Rafa Nadal Tennis Tour. This tournament is the last of this year's series. After a first-round bye, Phillips, who is ranked 4th in the boys under-14 division, took on Nico de la Peña. Phillips would advance in straight sets, 6-1, 6-3. Dowie Rollins' teammate Reese Topley enjoyed a Sussex debut to remember with 4 wickets, 3 of them coming in 4 balls, as they defeated Hampshire by 15 runs in their Vitality Blast at the First Central County Ground. Sussex, who had been put in on a sticky, slow pitch, scored 188 for 6. Rollins was out for 6. In reply, Hampshire could only manage 173. Kenny Lejour continued competing at the Blue Monster at Doral in the Optimus Bowl Junior Golf Tournament. Going into the day as the joint leader, Lejour shot a second round 5 over par 76 and is now tied for second place with 1 round to play. The Wednesday night sailing series, which starts and ends in the Hamilton Harbor, continued with 23 boats going to the start line for race day 14. Nasty Medicine was the first boat to cross the line on the night, clocking a time of 1:18:02. With their corrected time of 1:25:08, saw them finish first on the night. Cyclone was the second boat to cross the line, clocking 1:26:29, and with their corrected time of 1:28:33, saw them finish 9th on the night. Smoking was clocked in a time of 1:32:34, and with their corrected time of 1:25:35, saw them finish second on the night. Air Force finished 3rd on the night with a corrected time of 1:26:06. This after crossing the line in a time of 1:31:50. Dragonfire was 4th on the night with a corrected time of 1:26:14, and Varengen rounded out the top 5 finishes with a corrected time of 1:26:45. I'm Earl Baisden with Bermuda Broadcasting Sports.
Hey Smokey, let's get lunch from the Marketplace Food Court.
You know what? That sounds good.
They have oxtails, pumpkin, curried lamb, lemon chicken, sweet and sour ribs, vegetable stir fry, and the variety goes on.
Their chefs are good. They'll set you right up with all the good carvings.
And don't forget the special dishes from the islands.
It don't matter. No matter what you feel like eating, Marketplace will have it.
You know, it's quick, it's quality, and at prices you can count on.
Visit us 7 days a week. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Made for you daily at the Hamilton Marketplace Food Court.
Every home tells a story. Your story is all yours.
Big kid, too cool. I make my own rules.
Wherever you live, whatever your style, express yourself.
My style says what's up. Don't wanna ever grow up.
So many styles to help tell your story and create your unique dream home.
We're gonna stand out, break away from the crowd.
Start shopping for furniture at U.S. prices today. Lifestyle Furniture is Bermuda's newest furniture store and is proud to be the home of the #1 furniture company in the world, Ashley Furniture. Visit lifestylefurniture.bm or stop by our showrooms today. Lifestyle Furniture, this is home.
Bermuda Broadcasting Company is pleased to present the 117th Cup Match Classic in St. George's this year. Breakfast at Cup Match starts our day with Ian Rollins on Power 95 at 8:30 a.m. Join Ian as he interviews team captains, players, former players, and fans who will share their thoughts and predictions on this year's game. At 9:45 a.m., our lead commentary team with Alan Richardson, Dwayne Sluggo Levra, and newcomer Alan Douglas will provide an in-depth analysis on the Cup Match game. Stay with our team Thursday, August the 1st and Friday, August the 2nd. This special presentation has been presented by lead sponsor HSBC, Lindo's Group of Companies, Colonial Insurance Limited, Phoenix Stores, Surface Trans Limited, East End Asphalt, and BAC Universal Electric.
And that's our newscast. I'm Diane Brewer. Thank you for joining us. Have a wonderful evening, everyone. Good night.